Hello, welcome back to the Dwarfs. We're going to literally continue exactly where we left off. Not even 5 minutes ago. You got a reputation to uphold. If you can't rely on the metalwork or dwarf, what can you rely on?
What can I do for you?
For me, nothing. It's Lot Yonan. He wants to see you in his study.
In your mind, you go through all the recent incidents that might have annoyed the Magus. Apart from a few little squabbles with his famuli, nothing worth mentioning happened since the incident with your beard. You nod.
Okay. You look dreadful.
What a charmer.
The maid gives you an ironic, reprimanding scowl.
Ikana has been crying half the night.
When you were teething, I carried you around the vaults. You played with my beard and I sang you to sleep.
Frala smiles. She's heard this story many times before.
That was 23 cycles ago. But I'm quite sure you didn't sing. You might have grumbled a bit.
If what you've read about the dwarven lifespan is true, it'll be another 300 sun cycles and more before you are called to the Eternal Forge. The certainty of one day having to witness Frala's death already burdens your heart.
I better not keep the Magus waiting.
See you later. There's goulash for dinner.
Yum.
There was a time when you could hardly lift the heavy hammer. Now you barely notice it anymore, and it feels like an extension of your arm. Smithing is in your blood.
Oh, so this is the main character, from what I remember in the book. Is there anything else for us to have a look at around here? Okay.
There are apparently dwarves who have never seen the sky. And you too feel more comfortable when you have rock over your head. If only you didn't long to see more of the world, a longing that grows stronger with every year.
Hey, groundling! Come to the kitchen, we need you.
Jolison, a 4th degree famulus and your favorite foe among the students of magic, gives you a disparaging glance and disappears without waiting for your reply.
Better go after that charming young man.
Tangdale! Quick! Or the goulash will get burnt!
You immediately recognize what the problem is. A chain running over a pulley for positioning the cauldron is detached from its mounting, and the cauldron stuck in the fireplace. It's a heavy load, and none of the famuli, who feel superior even during kitchen duty, dare do anything. They might burn their fingers, or even get a bit dirty.
Oh no, we can't have that happen.
It'd be a waste of goulash. And I'm hungry. Here, hold this. Do you remember when you dyed my beard with some magic spell? I had to shave it off.
You stroke your beard, which is unusually short for a dwarf.
Damn it! Ah, it's heavy!
The young human forces through his pursed lips, letting the pot sink a little.
Don't you dare ruin my goulash, boy!
The cook with beefy forearms glares at the young man, and after a brief moment, he tries harder. With as much concern in your voice as you can muster, you say,
Oh no, this doesn't look good.
you're pleased to notice he's dripping with sweat.
See, even she thinks
I'll
it's funny.
get you back for this, groundling!
I better fix that, don't I? Just take it one-handed,
You
no
damned
sweat.
freak!
For a moment, you hope the famulus really does raise his hand to you. But then he comes to his senses and leaves the kitchen, his face bright red.
What a pair you are!
Okay.
Vegetables,
this.
bread, cheese, but the cook is not to be trifled with. Many painful knuckles have taught you that she knows how to handle her heavy wooden spoon, and that she may possibly have eyes in the back of her head.
Scary lady then. So we need to go speak to Jotlonen? The Magus. Hopefully he's not too far away.
I should speak to Lot Yonan first. He doesn't like to be kept waiting.
You mumble and wonder when you started speaking thoughts like this out loud.
That's quite funny. A little bit self-aware. It's not quite breaking the fourth wall. Clever. Ooh. Some set of stairs. What?
Lot Yonan's vaults are equipped with laboratories, a library, and private rooms for the famuli. Together with the forge, the kitchen, and the other utility rooms, it makes up quite an impressive complex. But compared to the courts of the other magi, the seat of power in Yonandar is small and modest.
Yes, so what I remember from the book, which isn't like major spoiler stuff, is that the realms of men are sort of split up into different states, and each state is ruled over by one of the maguses, and then they sort of sit on a council all together and, you know, talk and make decisions in what they think is like the best way and the best course of action. And these loading times are a little bit long, or maybe I'm just really impatient. Maybe a bit of both.
Master Lot Yonan, Frala told me you wished to speak with me.
Ah, Tungdil, come in. There is a bag over there in the cupboard. Take it out, please. It contains artifacts belonging to my former famulus Goren. I wish to return them to him. He's in Black Saddle, 300 miles away.
300 miles? That's a long journey. Who are you going to entrust with this?
I was thinking of you.
Me?
There is no one better to take on this journey. You have acquired much knowledge. You are almost a scholar. You know more than most famuli about Girdlegard and its inhabitants. It is time for you to go out into the world and see it with your own eyes.
With pleasure. What's in
Let's
the
see
bag?
what's in there.
Magical devices. You better leave the bag closed if you want to avoid any accidents. Dwarves don't really like magic, and magic doesn't like you either.
Rakus gave us so much craftsmanship that there's no space left in our bodies for magic.
Strictly speaking, every time you've been too close to magic, it has ended in catastrophe.
Yeah, that's a lot like the dwarfs in what was Warhammer Fantasy Battle. It's now Age of Sigmar. I don't know if they kept the rule, but there was a rule about dwarves being extra resilient to magics and getting extra dispel dice. So it's that similar sort of
Perhaps
vibe.
I'll meet some dwarves on my travels.
Yes, perhaps. But don't hold out too much hope. And be careful who you talk to. Not everyone out there likes dwarves.
What?
Yeah, goblins. They abduct
Not
baby dwarves and sell them
goblins.
to magi, from what I've heard.
Not the best bit of business I've ever done. But what was I to do? The Longnoses threatened to throw you into the nearest river.
Not goblins. They're disgusting.
Be on your guard. Look after the bag and don't lose it. May Palandiel be with you. And Varakas too, of course.
I'll set off immediately. I'll see you soon, Lot Yonan.
And another loading screen. Hopefully this one won't be so slow. That's better. So, okay, so that shows me what stuff I can look at.
Lot Yonan didn't just take you in. He also taught you how to read and write. But you don't feel like reading right now. Especially as you already know all the books by heart.
What I was trying to find was Ah, so there's my quests. I was looking for... That's the menu. Again.
Of the 200 or so people selected to learn the art of magic under Lot Yonan, there's barely a handful of them you can stand the sight of. You're not at all interested in magic in all its elusiveness and whimsy. Your realm is the Forge.
That's interesting enough.
Hey, what are you... We're still eating here. Why don't you go and get your own portion?
Let's grab some food. I would like to know. Wow, okay.
The beer that is delivered to the vaults is supposed to be the best beer in Idderslane. It's certainly your favourite beer, but you haven't drunk enough other beers to truly know.
And how many beers is that for you to truly decide what your favourite beer is? This is a very deep philosophical question that I'm
Hello, Frala.
not entirely happy with.
I need provisions for 300 miles.
You're grinning from ear to ear. Finally, you've got the chance to see something of the world.
300? Tungdil, that's no errand. That's an epic journey. Wait, I've got just the right thing. But make sure the cook doesn't see.
I'm going to
Stealth mission.
Blacksaddle to return a few things to a former apprentice in the Magus.
You pocket the rye bread, sausages, and ham. Enough food for the first few days of your journey.
I've got a present for you.
You take out a symbol of protection that you've carefully made from 3 horseshoe nails.
It's not the finest jewellery in Girdlegard.
One look at Frala's face makes it clear that it doesn't matter.
Aww.
She glows with happiness as she takes the pendant.
For me? But why?
Because you don't see me as an oddity, and you're like a little sister to me.
You could have said,
Aww.
but you settle with a shrug and a crooked smile.
I have
I
to
have
go.
to leave.
I've got a long journey ahead of me.
I still don't know how to open my inventory.
I wish you the blessing of Palandial and Vracus to protect you from all danger in your journey. Here, a talisman. Whenever you look at it, think of me.
Frala winks at you mischievously.
And of getting me a nice present.
So it's not like okay. Maybe I should pay attention to one of those loading screens and actually looked at the triangle. Must be triangle. We'll try that when we get outside. I should have realised that. But what can I say, I'm just so good that I don't notice these things. Ah!
How nice to see you again, Lot Yonan.
Shit.
It must have been an age since we last met face to face.
Nudin, welcome. Please, sit down.
No, thank you, my friend. These are urgent matters, and I don't have much time. You must come to Leos Nudin immediately. The perished land is stirring.
Are you sure? What makes you think that?
I found out about 60 orbits ago, during a visit to the borders. Our magical barriers have weakened and become porous. The Elfar have left their land, and a huge horde of orcs have marched into Girdlegard.
Were you able to strengthen the spell with your magic?
No. I can't repair the damage alone. We need the combined power of the 6. The other 4 are already on their way here, but we need your help too.
I will set off for Parista without delay.
Oh, and as you're coming, could you also take the opportunity to bring back the things that I lent to you?
Of course. I have them already packed in a bag.
Oh, thank you. We'll be expecting you.
Well, I would make a joke about that guy having ample chins, but I think it was just a one big chin. It just sort of continued for like a good foot down his face. That dude is... wow. I would not like to be his dietitian.
Utterly blinded by the sunlight, you squeeze your eyes tightly shut after only a few steps. The time spent underground has made you so sensitive to light that you're forced to seek shelter in the shade of a mighty oak.
Kind of sounds like me leaving my house in any given situation. So, world map.
You reach a small lake by a birchwood. Your feet hurt and your eyes still sting in the unaccustomed sunlight. But a smile spreads across your face nonetheless. You've covered a decent distance on the first day of your big journey. You pitch your camp and lie down to sleep on the hard forest floor. When you awake in the morning, your legs are stiff and achy. Trying not to feel sorry for yourself, you throw your rucksack over your shoulder. You're a dwarf, and dwarves don't complain.
So the world map seems to be sort of node-based movement. I suppose each node is worth like a day's travel. So there's something over here. Which is the quickest route? 1, 2, 3, 4. Is it quickest go to 1, 2, 3? So 1. I kind of feel like we could visit this little house here. And then, yeah, let's go. You've got 18 days worth of food. I'm sure we'll find food along the way. Yeah, so each node's got to
Around
be a
midday,
day.
with the sun high in the sky and the first beads of sweat appearing on your forehead, you see something move next to the road, a few hundred meters ahead. Some crows are pecking at something in the long grass.
Ugh. Sneak up on the crows. It's probably something dead.
When you see the blood on the ground, you try to convince yourself it's from an animal that just happened to be killed on the road by a hunter. You know this is improbable, and your hope disappears completely when you see 2 human bodies lying in the flattened grass.
Oh? Is this going to be in like the like an encounter? Oh dear. At least the soundtrack's pretty epic.
You don't see any signs of a struggle in the area where the corpses are lying. Were they stabbed by a companion? A stranger could hardly have crept up on them with such sparse cover.
So...
A slender
the
man
body.
lies in front of you, dressed in an expensive robe. It is in the colors of Turgur the Fair-Faced, one of the 6 Magi. The dead man must be one of Turgur's famuli. You don't see any wounds.
What about the other body?
You look down on a tall, broadly built man. He's wearing dark brown leather armor that is strengthened with iron plates. There's a sword lying next to him. Was he trying to defend himself against something? Or someone? There is no blood on the sword.
That's closer than expect.
Vracus.
There are some narrow stab wounds in the man's chest. The cuts are too big to have been made by arrows, but too small for sword wounds.
So what? A knife? Dagger?
The man has the same incisions. It's clear that both men were killed by the same weapon. But what that weapon might be, you cannot say.
Whoever had it must have come up with them. Done it all pretty quick to, you know, not make any signs of struggle. Is there anything else we can look at? Sign over here. Make sure we don't miss anything.
Nothing.
Okay, that's helpful. And there was this bush here.
Nothing again.
You halt. There is something.
Ahaha!
A rucksack. Did someone hide it in the bushes, or was it thrown in there?
You open the rucksack
Yeah.
and recognize that someone has already rummaged through it. As well as some implements and writing utensils, you find a pouch full of gold and a talisman. The gold is proof that this is not a case of robbery.
A guy's gonna come
It's
in
not
useful,
a
that's for
robbery
sure.
if you're already dead.
You give the corpse an apologetic look.
Sorry, mate.
The gold coins join the others in your purse.
And the talisman might
Warmth and
come
a
in
feeling of
useful.
security flush through your body as you touch the talisman. You feel safer just holding it in your hand.
I'm taking you with me.
Yeah. And while we've done that, let's actually have a quick look at our inventory. So I've got skills, stubborn. So low life gets damage bonus and armor bonus, and blacksmith's blow. So a power attack, knockback, all that. I've got 230 gold coins, some provisions. Oh, cool. Provisions automatically heal me if required. The magical artifacts that I need to take to Gwen. Farless Scarf. It's good fortune. And then the Talisman of Protection. Simple. When damage received, 50 chance of reducing that. So definitely worth equipping that. For a chance of 50% reduced damage. Let us proceed.
You scour the area once more and ask yourself what to do next.
I think we should be respectful. Let's give them a decent burial. Even though I kind of robbed them. Less said about that, the better.
It's time-consuming and strenuous work digging shallow graves in the ground with a stick and covering the corpses with a few stones. But it should at least keep the crows from their feasting for a while. You continue on your way so as to put a few more miles between you and your grisly find before night falls.
Let's go continue our journey. Ooh, so there's a farmstead up here. Shall I go investigate?
As the gable end of a small farmhouse and a barn appear from behind a hilltop, you hear the loud cries of children at play.
Oh.
A girl runs along the path laughing, followed by a small boy with a big stick in his hand. The boy is trying to catch up his sister with a determined look on his face, but is finding it difficult to keep his short legs under control on the uneven path.
Okay, so I can stay where I am and watch the children. Walk up to the children and say hi. We just give the farm a wide berth. I think I'm going to be friendly.
You walk towards the children. As you raise your hand to greet them, the boy catches sight of you. His eyes grow wide, and he points to you with a chubby little finger. All he can manage to say is, "There." Now the girl has turned to face you too. Before you can say a word, she lifts her little brother up into her arms and runs screaming towards the farmhouse.
Sensible children. Stranger danger and all that. Hopefully I can go to the farm and maybe get some more
Without
provisions.
rushing, you follow the children to the farmhouse, into which they've disappeared. After a few moments, they reappear, accompanied by their parents. Their father is a thick-set man with grey hair.
I am Opatia. This is my wife, Remsa.
The blonde woman nods a greeting almost
Blonde?
imperceptibly and clasps her daughter tightly to her. She looks you over with an anxious expression.
It's a pleasure to meet you. My name is Tungdal.
You try to make your voice sound as harmless as possible.
Over the last few days, have you seen two travelers heading east?
Opatia looks at his wife, but she shakes her head.
Why do you ask?
Yeah. If there's horrible stuff around, probably should warn him.
I found them. Two dead bodies on the side of the road. A good day's march east from here.
Dead bodies?
She hastily covers her son's ears.
Was it orcs?
Remsa, what would orcs be doing up here? It was probably just bandits.
I'm afraid it was neither orcs nor bandits. Now, I don't know who it was, but you're quite right to be wary of strangers these days.
Says the stranger.
I'm sorry if I scared your wife and children.
The man waves dismissively.
No. It's just that my fair woman is especially jumpy these days.
The orcs have been spotted near Calmstead. You should take it more seriously.
The farmer's wife clutches her daughter even tighter before the girl finally protests. The boy steps forward excitedly and cuts the air with his stick.
If strangers come, we're supposed to run away, but I can hit them too.
Opatia pats his son on the head, laughing.
We're safe. The orcs have no reason to come so far north.
Wouldn't
Yeah,
it be
if they
better
are
to move to
nearby.
one of the bigger villages if there are orcs around?
The farm is our livelihood. We can't just leave the place. The fields don't look after themselves. King Tilagorn's cavalry will take care of the orcs, or Lord Yonan and his magi.
But the cavalry can't be everywhere at once. Even a handful of orcs would be enough to finish us.
Once the seeds are planted, I'll build the hideaway, just as you wish. But what use is a hideaway if we've nothing to eat in the autumn?
True. Definitely so
We
first.
can't be sure whether the orcs will come here, but what is for
I
certain
hope that
is
was
that
good
you will
advice.
starve without a harvest.
That's exactly what I said.
Opatia lays a hand on his wife's shoulder.
Don't worry, I'll build a hideaway as soon as everything else is taken care of.
But
No panic
Trust me,
room.
even the good dwarf here says it is so. And if anyone knows about orcs, then it's the dwarves.
Yeah.
Remsa
Racial
nods slowly,
stereotypes.
then looks towards the ground glumly.
If you say so.
You bid farewell and set off on your way. The children follow you for a while before saying their goodbyes in laughter and running back towards the farm.
Right, I'm gonna stop that there, and we'll next time we shall investigate this little place here. So until then, goodbye, and I'll see you next time.